Welcome back to Delphi Psychotherapy Billing Software. This video is just going to discuss some of the things that can go wrong when you're making payments and how to fix that. Now, if you follow our instructions about always making payments against sessions, only applying money against a session that money belongs to, and never overpaying sessions, you will never have to visit this particular video. But what we're going to do is go ahead and make a mistake that some people who ignore some of our previous videos and instructions in the program, how to get out from underneath the problem and how to reconcile some of those errors that you might inadvertently make. So we're going to start off here with client Hank Aaron, who actually at this point has no history. And I'm going to show you how to get yourself into a little bit of a mess and then how to get out of it. So first I'm going to look at the patient information for Hank here. Click on insurance coverage, and in this case we believe the copay for each session, we believe it to be $20 per session. Now each time that we record a session, and I'm going to record a session right now for Hank, and that will happen on January 1st, and his first session we're going to make interview evaluation. And I'm going to go ahead and make a copay that he paid at the time of the session, $20. And as we saw earlier, when we saved this session, we had specified that his copay really is $20 a session. This is what we believe to be the case. So very innocently here, we are going to take $20 from Hank for each session. Let's record a couple more sessions for him. He saw him on the 1st, let's say the 8th. And again, Hank is doing what he should do by paying a copay of $20 a session. This is according to our best belief about what should be going on. And again, I'm going to record another session for Hank, and this time on the 15th. And again, Hank is making his copays because we both believe, Hank and the provider, both believe that the copay really should be $20 a session. And finally, let's record one more session for Hank. And this session occurred on the 22nd. And again, Hank is paying his bills on time. Okay. Now, the problem here is that, or the potential problem is that we've been applying $20 against each session because that's what we believed that Hank was supposed to pay us. Again, the problem with copays is that they're subject to a lot of forces outside of your control. In this case, we believe it was 20, and we went ahead and took 20 from Hank. Now, if I close this screen, and we pretend that we've got an insurance payment now, and I'm going to say that the insurance payment was $180. So on the 27th, we got an insurance payment. We'll say Blue Cross, and this is $180. The amount, $180. Apply this payment. And now I'm going to pay $90 against this session. And in reality, what we've really discovered is that Hank's copay really should have been $10 a session, but we're going to pay $90 against this session, apply that payment, and I'm going to double click on the session on the 8th and pay another $90 against that session. And we're now finished with this. Now, a quick peek at the payment screen, we're showing in red that we basically Delphi doesn't like what you've done here. You have had a $100 charge, yet you've applied $110 in credits. And the whole concept of an advance is that these overpayments either should have been paid against other sessions, which would probably be incorrect in this case, or these $20 in overpayments should have been paid to an advance, but you just simply didn't do it. We can take a quick peek at the financial history screen here and see again, we have $110 that was paid against the session of only $100, resulting in a $10 credit and a client balance of -10. We need to reconcile this. Now, if you always paid the $20 that you received on those sessions against the advance, we wouldn't have to deal with this and we could just simply apply the advance. But I'm going to now take you to the payment screen and show you how you deal with this situation where we have this extra $10 on 2 sessions that we would like to move. Now, under normal circumstances, the process of applying advance is borrowing money from an advance to then use to pay off other sessions. However, in this case, we're going to do a little bit the opposite. We're going to say this is on behalf of client, and this is apply credits, and the amount is 0. We didn't just receive any more money. We're simply moving money. So the hard part for a lot of people to understand is the amount of the payment is 0 at this point. Now we click on the button that says Apply Advance. And basically this says that apply from an advance means that you're going to move a credit balance from an advance or session in this case and apply that amount to another session or advance. I'm going to click yes to the lecture. This is basically, again, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. What we're going to do is borrow the $10 overpayment we made. So I'm going to double click on the session on the first, and I'm going to enter -10 and click apply. Now we have $10 to apply. I'm going to do the same thing on this other session on the 8th. Double click, enter -10, click apply. Now his charges and credits are exactly what they should be, but we have $20 now, a $20 payment to make either against other sessions, which we really wouldn't want to do in this case, or we create an advance and we double click on the advance and pay the $20 positive against the advance. And it says you're now finished with this payment. If we take a peek back at the payment screen, the $20 in credits belong in the advance where they should be, and not having overpaid these 2 original sessions. So the moral of the story here is that in the event that you don't actually pay the money in the correct spots and you end up with credits that are greater than the charges, we need to take that money and move it either to other sessions, which we don't want to do in this case because we've already paid 20 against these sessions. And in this case, we're going to pay them to the advance, or at least move them to the advance. And finally, we can take a quick peek at the financial history screen. And there was 20 copay, 90 insurance pay, and we took back $10. This results in a balance on this session of 0, which is correct. We also took back $10 on this session. We could have paid $10 more to this session, but that wouldn't be correct because we're probably going to get $90 in insurance payments later. And we simply move the $10 down into the advance where it belongs. So that's how you clean up a mess if you found out that you overpaid sessions and you need to move that extra money either to other sessions or to an advance.